the Hive 200 watt kit from Artery. Let's have a look. Hey guys, Vick here, back with another review. Today we are looking at this. This is the Hive 200 watt kit from Artery. It comes with the Hive tank on top, and this is the Hive mod. Two versions of this mod available. You can get it with this resin front panel, or you can get it with a carbon fibre-esque front panel. Big colour screen on here. It has a lot of interesting modes and features as well. You've got your TC, you've got your TCR, you've got your variable wattage, bypass. You also have flavour mode, which I will show you down low and we'll talk about when we come back up top. We'll talk about flavour mode in a bit. 200 watt mod, dual 18650 in series, and it comes with this Hive tank on top, which comes with a very interesting 0.15 mesh coil. Top fill, 24mm wide, all that good stuff. Let's dive down low, and so you can see this up close, then we'll come back up top, pros and cons, all that good stuff. See you in a sec. Okay guys, here we are down low with the Artery Hive 200 watt mod kit, I should say kit, because it comes with this tank, the Hive tank. Let's quickly have a look at the tank first. It's a mesh coil. I believe it is Artery's first high wattage mesh sub tank. As you can see, it's got designed by, it's been a little bit leaky, this tank. This, to be fair, this has been my work mod this week, so it really has been out and about and through its paces. Yeah, it has gone through the mill. Now, starting at the top, we have a resin drip tip which matches the mod. It is 810 size, except I've noticed that a lot of my other 810 tips don't fit particularly well on this tank, so I'm not going to say that it's brilliantly goon fitting, so do bear that in mind. Although the tip is perfectly matching with the mod, so probably best to keep using it with that. Top fill up here as well, simple unscrew job, no issue there. Glug your juice into that top fill to refill it. No issues there at all. You've then got your airflow, two airflow holes like this, adjustable, nice little stopper on each side as well. Very good. I've been using it like that, maybe 2/3, just under 2/3 open. Bubble glass, taking it up to 4mm capacity. I believe it is 3mm capacity with the straight glass. So yeah, not TPD as such, but not a bad capacity, 4mm. This is where stuff gets messy, because I'm going to have to show you this opening up, but I believe that is going to lead to the juice coming out. Oh, let's balance it like a ninja. Okay, so when we've zoomed in on this, let's just put this to one side before I have a heart attack. There we go. Okay, so 0.14 coil, mesh styly, one big hole type of design. Yeah, 1.4 ohm, 50 to 90 watt recommendation, and obviously you just unscrew this from the base to change it. Let's again, like a ninja, screw this back on without spilling any. Not easy, no guarantees. Yeah, it's not one of these sort of tanks where you can take the tank apart when it's full of juice. It's not one of those crazy ones like that. Let me just dry myself off. Okay, so that was the Hive tank, and this is the Hive mod, 200 watts, dual 18650 in series. You have 510. It's almost a flush 510, but it's not. It's just raised maybe by a millimeter, half a millimeter, just a slightly raised 510. It's spring loaded and everything goes down flush to it, but you will get this tiny gap due to the slight raised of that plate. 25mm at is and below look great on here. Anything bigger than 25mm will start to overhang, so do bear that in mind. Artery up here. Flipping it around, we've got Hive 200 there. Nice little symbol. That might be strobing like crazy on camera, I'm not sure, but yeah, it's quite nice. I quite like this back plate. They do this resin one. They also do a faux carbon fibre one as well. this one looks the best. However, I do have a couple of QC issues with mine. Firstly, the screen, which we'll go into in more detail in a second, is not perfectly straight on here. Don't know if that comes across on camera, but by eye in real life, it's not perfectly straight, my screen. And also, I don't know if you can see this here, there's a tiny bit of material somehow come out of this plate here. So slight QC issue on my version, but yeah, this is the alternative side. This is the same no matter which version you get. It's got a tiny little tab here, and you can open up your mod and look inside. You can see it says it's got the aero chip in here. I'll show you more of the board and the screen in a second, but yeah, dual 18650 in series, nice clean tray and all that. I suppose some people would have preferred the 510 to be centered, I should point that out. But yeah, the door is a tiny bit of play. You don't notice it when you're vaping, but yeah, there is a bit of play on that door, but it is held quite well by magnets. Micro USB, fire button, minus button, plus button on here. Let's get this juicy tank on here. I've made it look like a leaky monster, but don't forget that's because I've been running around with this in my bag and I took the base off while it was still full of juice. So it's not really a leaky tank, don't get that impression. So this is how it looks all back together. It is a nice and matchy thing. It works as a kit. It's clearly intended to be a kit. So yeah, I like the way it matches and works together quite well. I like that. This is like a resin panel. I'm not sure how real that is either, to be honest, but yeah, there we go. So the screen, you put a new coil in and it will ask you if you want to change it. So it does that every time you put it on. And you can see we've got artery up top, power mode, 70 watts, resistance, battery life, all that good stuff. It's got a lot of inbuilt tricks, this thing. So you can go 1, 2, and it changes colour. 1, 2, 1, 2. If you get sick of saying 1, 2, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then there's a full colour menu here. Look at this, yellow, orange, purple, blue. I'm going to stick with white. I think white looks best on camera, certain for contrast and things. So I'll stick with white, but it's nice that they've got those colour options. You've also got this, 1, 2, 3. Takes you into the work mode menu. So you've got power mode, straight wattage, temperature mode, flavour mode. I'll talk about that up top. That's a load of nonsense. Voltage mode, brightness mode, power off and exit. If we go into temperature mode, say we pick SS, this is the point where you get to change your wattage for this mode. So I'm in stainless steel TC and the wattage I want is 70, and then in here this is where you adjust your Fahrenheit. If you go right to the top, it will round robin into CC. But if you want to change your wattage, you have to go back round again and change your wattage. So yeah, I haven't figured out a way of doing that on while in that mode, but you do it before you get in there. So there we go. You can change your brightness as well there, but we're just going to put it back. Oh, I'll show you flavour mode really quickly. Flavour mode. So what you do is you go in flavour mode and you say you want dessert, tobacco, whatever, and then it says what that is up there. So obviously, you know, with a tank like this, vaping a dessert, you want exactly 70 watts. You can adjust your wattage, but yeah, it recommends 70 watts for desserts. Whereas, oh, 1, 2, oh, here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, white. Okay, so if 1, 2, 3, so for example, yeah, so if you're on a dessert, you want 70 watts. That's an absolute given. However, if you're on a tobacco, you want 70 watts. You know, that's, you know, standard. So that is flavour mode. Flavour mode, which yeah, is a bit dumb. We'll talk about it a bit more up top, but yeah, that is flavour mode. Fantastic idea. So there we go. That is the Hive 200 watt mod with Hive mesh sub tank. Pretty cool looking. Lots of pros and cons. Let's go up top and go over those pros and cons. Okay guys, that was the Artery Hive 200 watt mod kit down low. A couple of things to get out of the way straight off the bat. Quality control on this mod, not the best if I'm being completely honest. Mine has these little bits sticking out. There's some sort of part of the interior has got stuck on here. Not great, not great. Also, my screen is not perfectly straight on here. Very hard to tell down low, but trust me, it is not perfectly straight. Slightly frustrating. So maybe there's a quality control issue with these mods. I'm not sure, but it's a real shame. It just slightly disappoints me that yeah, there's possibly a QC issue with this kit. Beyond that, the other thing we've got to say straight away and get out of the way is flavor mode. Flavor mode on this thing is not the best. So basically what flavor mode is trying to do is trying to provide you with the correct wattage depending on the flavor of juice you use, but it's also tied into what the ohm of the coil is as well. So with this 0.15 coil, it thinks the best is 70 watts. It thinks the best thing to do is 70 watts, which is wrong to assume anyway, but it's saying 70 watts. So no matter if I pick tobacco or dessert or fruit, it just says 70 watts no matter what I do. There's no way of tuning in your wattage to the flavour automatically using a mod. The whole flavour mode thing is just silly. It's just a really silly thing. So yeah, it's got flavour mode, it's silly, it's pointless, ignore it. So don't worry about that. Beyond that, there are some nice aspects to this mod. I really like the tank and the way the tank is vaping. The actual longevity on these mesh coils has been excellent. I've done over 50 ml of juice and it's still tasting very nice. Not the quietest tank as you probably just heard, but it is vaping very well, and it's still vaping very well, over 50 ml of juice. So flavour is good, longevity is good, vapour production, all that stuff is working very, very well. Top fill's absolutely fine and all that sort of thing. I like that the drip tip matches the resin, all that good stuff. So the tank is pretty much a positive for me on that. I don't think it's the best sub-tank in the world, but I do think it's a very, very solid sub-tank. I think they've done a good job with the Hive sub-tank that comes with this kit. Overall, I think the mod actually looks pretty good. Yeah, it's a bit boxy. It's a bit Sigelli 150-esque. If you remember that one, it's a little bit boxy, but it's quite nice looking. I even quite like this back panel. This back panel's quite cool as well, with the Hive logo on it. I don't think it's bad looking at all. I quite like this resin front panel. The carbon fibre one doesn't look too bad either. So I actually think it's not a bad looking mod. I think the screen is excellent. Mine's not perfectly straight, but beyond that, the screen is excellent. It's really colourful. I like the menu system. Very easy to navigate the menu as you're going through, as I showed you down low. So that's all positive stuff. Wattage output seems on point. TC seems on point as well. Not really mess with the TCR, and like I said, flavour mode's a bit crazy. So yeah, it puts out what it's supposed to put out. All the functions on the board seem to work very well. So there are a lot of positives there. If you need a mod and sub-tank combo in that 70, 80, 90 watt range, then this is a solid kit. It's a really solid kit. I have no real gripes or worries recommending it to you. So yeah, so it's working very well. It's a very nice kit. It's not in any way spectacular or anything like that, but it does exactly what it should do. It's got a nice screen, it's got a nice board, I think it comes with a nice tank, and it does everything it should. It feels quite well made, you know, no major issues of the QC issue that I mentioned at the start, but beyond that it seems to work absolutely fine. I like the way it's put together, no issues with the door. Yeah, it's a pretty solid kit. It's a pretty solid kit. If you're in the market for something like this, this is an option. This is definitely an option. I have no major gripes with its performance in any way. So yeah, the Hive kit. Let me know if you've got one of these in the comments. Let me know how you're getting on with it. Let me know what you think of this review. Like and subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.